Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia. Welcome back to another Group A matchup, this time between Odin Wrath and Electric Experience, who are both still looking for their first win here in a rather tough Group A. Well, this match might not matter in terms of Group A advancement, it is still Electric Experience's last chance to avoid ending the group stages winless. So let's see how it went. And taking a look at both sides' draft, we can see Odin Wrath in the green side going with a completely different look. We have Sun Ce, Zhang He, and Cao Ren, and the troops are also all over the place. We have 3 Tiger Guards for a little bit of that guard passive. In terms of offense, they're just basically spear guards. We have 3 units of horseback archers for a bit of harassment and fire damage, maybe slightly too many to my liking. The handmade guard might be a better choice, especially if you want to keep the guard passive next to your generals. Then for Zhang He, we have 4 units of the Northern Lancer Cavalry, very decent unit. And then for Cao Ren, who is going to be a heal comp, as he does have that infinite healing ability, it just takes a long time. We have 2 Saber Infantry and 2 very high quality Protector of Heaven. Then for Electric Experience, we also have a completely different look and the first appearance of Sima Yi in our tournament. His Whitewater has been nerfed from its very broken global presence to just the increased range version of Stifling Deluge. It's still very good and we'll see it in action. There's also 3 horseback archers on this side. There is also 3 units with similar attack to a spear guard from the Qingzhou infantry, but because they have misplaced devotions, they will do quite well, actually outperform a standard spear guard. Then we have Yanliang with 4 units of the Xiongnu Cav plus 1 unit of the Liyang Daring Infantry, which is also an interesting unit as they do have an active ability that can boost their stat. And finally, we have Zhang He on this side as well, but he is bringing in 3 anti-cav Ye Vanguard Spearmen. So they're going to be the crossbow here to shut down enemy cavalry. A pretty balanced matchup on both sides. I think the infantry quality favors Odin's Wrath. There's also more abilities in terms of Sun Ce's Roar and Cao Ren's Heal, but with Sima Yi on Electric Experience side shutting some of that down, it might be a pretty even fight, as they will be a slight cavalry advantage to Electric Experience, slightly better horse archers that can also double as a charge unit, and the Xiongnu Cav and the Lancers, they don't go exactly even. I think the Lancers will do slightly better, as their weapon has a slight anti-large bonus on it, being the Z versus the sword, but depending on how you use it and who you target, I think it's pretty balanced on both sides. So let's see how this one played out in the battle. And just looking at the deployment here, Odin Wrath is taking a pretty forward approach with his cavalry, going to harass a little with them first, the cavalry behind just to reinforce them, generals all together, infantry in a line. Pretty similar setup here by Electric Experience as well. Infantry in the middle with the generals together, and then we also have the cavalry spread on both flanks with a range on one side and melee on the other. Sima Yi, for those who are curious, we changed the Whitewater. It's still the shutdown ability where enemy cannot use their active because there's a constant plus 5-second cooldown. It has a 100-meter range, which is not a lot, but it's double what you get from Stifling Deluge, and it will get cancelled if he is under fire and morale is broken. There's a couple effective kill the ability from afar so they can use your abilities, but there's not too many range units. I guess in particular the mounted archers could be affecting that, but overall it's going to be a pretty straight up fight. That shutdown range, as you can see here, is going to protect anyone nearby from things like Sun Ce's Roar, which is a minus 50 point of morale debuff. Cao Ren can't activate his Heavenly Presence nearby as well. This is what I mean by infinite heal, because you can use this infinite number of time with 120-second cooldown. So the longer you drag out the battle, potentially it's going to be better for Cao Ren. We'll see how both sides play this out. Feels like with this deployment, play a little bit of harassment here. Or not. The infantry are getting moved, the cavalry is getting microed. They are not being moved at all, so I don't know why they have to be so far up. In terms of movement speed, they're going to be same, so if they get charged down, they will get chased down. Yanliang's being split off. Now, I don't like generals being split off. That is usually a bad idea. Yeah, 1 general for each group of unit. Looks pretty, but doesn't actually mean anything. You'd want your generals together. And you want to use these passive effect and also Wisdom River to help each other out. Now, both sides have Zhang He, so both sides actually have Geographic Mastery, which I don't think triggers correctly. I'm not sure this is one thing the mod fixed or not, because there's supposed to be a bit of forest spotting, and clearly no one's doing any spotting over here. It just doubles your normal sight, so I guess you probably don't reach that far, given it's only 100%. We have harassment here, starting out with the Northern Mounted Archers. Now these can be pretty much ignored. Opting into this clearing is a good idea, because marching through a much bigger burning forest is definitely not a good idea. But these Mounted Archers are completely getting ignored. They're not getting used at all. And looking at the stat, because they were picked on Sun Ce, I believe, who's a Vanguard, they actually don't have fire arrows. So their use is even more limited at this point, but they should still be used. Recruiting them and putting them far right doesn't do you any good. Alright, battle line set. The morale damage, as you can see, the fire, the under fire, the damage taken, it's routing those units. I don't know why these cavalry were being run up by themselves. There are abilities you can help them with. Stormborg would just protect them. It's a little late. And the infantry's now getting shot, so that's just a bad usage right there. These two generals still lagging behind. We're just going to have a clash of the infantry without any generals interfering. Zhang He has no offensive ability. He's just a very supportive general. We have a shield wall, which is good for defense and for combat, so that's a good choice. We have a very even spread. They have just stopped microing here. The cavalry has recovered, but we have a response. None of these generals can help very much, except for maybe Wisdom of River, which is not being used as far as I can see. No debuffs on that side. Yan is the one who could affect this battle quite well with roars and slams, but he's not being sent up to the infantry. He is running around with cavalry, which really doesn't do any good, especially with three generals colliding on him. They're backing off because they're scared. They feel like they don't have the numbers, and most likely be wasting that potential charge damage potential. Yep, they're gonna get charged in for free here. The infantry line is pretty even. Qingzhou Spear is going to activate their Misplaced Devotion and do some damage back, but Protector Heaven's going to win out over time. We have Zhang He coming in for a fight. Zhang He versus Zhang He, a rear flank of the cavalry instead of chasing down the enemy cavalry. That is a bad idea. We're just activating Qingzhou Spearman's damage, and they're going to return a lot of damage onto these cavalry. It's not going to do us any good. Maybe a Flame the Phoenix just to clear out a few. That's probably the best thing you can get out of here. The chance of getting dismounted here in the middle of the spear is not good. We have a charge versus the Odin Wrath Cavalry because they were just being redirected. So this is actually a clean charge by Electric Experience. If they can do a roar... Oh, they also can't do their abilities because Sima Yi is standing right here. The debuff is on, but Sima Yi needs help. At this point, they should be used as cavalry. They should no longer be shooting into this. It's not helpful. Someone protect Sima Yi, please. These cavalry get on top of it. You see the roar ability. The ability advantage right now is totally in Electric Experience favor because Sima Yi's presence. That's how really he should be used, but the rest of the battle is kind of going all over the place. These cavalries are being used, but they're getting chased down. They're distracting two Xiongnu Cav, which I think is a good value here. Being pulled too far away takes away the advantage, and we can now maybe see Sun Ce's roar, which is a solid minus 50. If he decides to use it. Oh, somebody being pulled back. Whitewater active again. No ability usage possible. There was an opening, just wasn't used. Infantry clump, not much to see there. Cavalry versus cavalry archer fight. And this Protector Heaven being pulled away, now pulled back. This is just from the fighting. Yeah, the problem with the Xiongnu Cav is their damage is okay. It's not a sword, it's still a spear, it's a short spear. I just think the Lancer had more damage. None of the generals have dismounted. Once again, I think Whitewater is still active. Yep, Sima Yi's at just this edge. If they just move a little bit this way, they would be fine. And they can start using some abilities. Tarin have not used his heal yet. Or at least I have not seen him use his heal. But in this mess, Yanliang's getting chunked. Sun Ce is getting chunked on the other side. And both have bailed out the fight. The red side infantry has fallen. The big problem is the Ye Vanguard Spearmen. They're not good in combat. And the Tiger Guards are coming in for a little bit of damage resistance, chasing away the cavalry. Protective Heaven, Saber Infantry, and melee versus a Spear Guard. They're not gonna do much against... Why are they not kiting? There we go. They can shoot while running around. They don't need to sit there. And if you look at the map, 1 or 2 cavalry unit chasing around 3 horseback archers that are fully on skirmish mode, you're just not gonna catch them. They spread out, and then you get shot, and then you rout. Just don't chase these guys. There's no point. Alright, we're in a messy fight. Now, Sima Yi is not gonna be able to do much in this fight. Except for maybe a Wisdom River. There we go. But why not fight them after using Wisdom River? It's a 30-second massive debuff of defense, and then you leave them. That's confusing. Guard passive activated. Yeah, now this ability is out for at least 120 seconds. Just to chase down. Unit bouncing back, square, just do a little bit of a shot. Yeah, the Vanguard Spearmen were useless frontline. They were put in a spear wall, and they weren't there to contain the cavalry. They should have been in square early on and just shot these cavalry as they approach, and that would have just been a lot better. It's gonna come down to these 2 generals. Zhang He needs to do a lot. And if they just stall, Taran can just keep healing. I mean, Taran's picked. I've not seen healing being used once. It heals generals and troops, so heal the troops. You're never going to catch them on foot. They're cavalry. You can wait till they finish their arrows. That's basically all you got to do. Put yourself in formation. Why not shield wall? Another thing is, if you get free shot and there's nothing to burn, and they're not low enough morale to actually take advantage of the fire arrows, shoot them with a regular one, because the fire arrows don't have a lot of damage. I mean, there's not much except for range protection ability that he could have used on his troops. A heal, once again. Yeah, get them distracted long enough to maybe have the infantry close the gap. That's just not really going to happen here. I mean, they can shoot every single one of those shots, and they're not going to kill these groups. It's just not going to happen. Heal. Heal. Heal the troops. Or give them a protection. Alright, they got them. They should stay. If they charge in, they grab the units towards the infantry, and then the infantry collides and they can't really get out after that point. Ah, Taran used it by himself. He healed himself. It's a range ability, and he did not have anyone else in his circle when he used it. There's finally a use of the temper deflection as well. Yeah, we finally see the heal ability go up, but he only healed himself. Ah, Sima Yi used it. They're at least trying to chase him. They're out of ammo. Now it's pretty much over. These cavalry can't shoot anymore. Who are they going to fight? The square? decent charge. The heal completed. You can see the little burst of health. I think it heals in the first second and on the last tick of the ability. Half for each. I mean, if these guys spread out and kind of contain them instead of all chasing together, it would be over. And if Sauron bothers to give them Stoneborg or perhaps a heal, there's also the speed advantage from Nature's Ally if he just walks. Oh, he's pulling out his bow. Okay, we finally have this. This is a sneaky move because I don't think Zhang He knows. Oh, he's shooting Sima Yi. Good. Also deactivates ability. But that little bit of sneaky damage. Alright, they stayed, which is good. Sauron just needs to move a little bit so they charge into that. Perfect, perfect. Now we get the fight that they want. Square's gonna get killed. Now zigzag back, have them fight this. Stay near them to give them Nature's Ally. Why keep chasing? He's clearly done. But it's not gonna make a big difference as these troops are gonna clean things up here and Zhang He just need to fight to the death. These cavalries can't get out anymore. And we have army loss kicking in for Zhang He. It's a messy battle. I think both sides made plenty of micro mistakes in terms of what they brought, how they should use it. Sun Ce never really got a roar off, even though that could have been very impactful. And Sauron really didn't use his ability to the fullest. Sima Yi was interesting. I think he played a pretty decent role. Wasn't very actively used, but there was a couple of misuse of Wisdom in the River as well. But his ability, I think it's fine. It's not so strong that we have to ban him, and it's still impactful enough with the extra range to kind of have more of an impact than the standard Stifling Deluge. He also have availability to recruit Cao Cao's unit, which was not available before the mod. So I think he's going to be a pretty interesting strategist pick going forward. Let's take a look at the actual damage. So looking at Odin Wrath army composition, the win came at, despite the lack of ability usage by some of the generals. And it's not due to Whitewater. A lot of it's due to indecisions by the player. Perhaps it's because you saw the Whitewater effect, so you didn't know when it was on, when it was off, and you couldn't get it in. But Sauron's ability was definitely misused at the end there, trying to give himself a small heal instead of giving all those units a small heal. The horse archers were not used at all, the mounted archers, until they were chased, and then skirmish mode just took over. And that worked. That was good enough, just basically as a distraction and just shoot a couple arrows at enemy cavalry as you spread, and you end up getting one of them to rout and the other one to just waste a lot of time. The cavalry usage on both sides were pretty subpar, the Ye Vanguard Spearmen being wrongly used by Electric Experience as well because they were not in square, they were kind of in the front line with a shield wall. They're not good in that role, they're better to take out the enemy cavalry first. And then the fight just became the infantry quality difference as we saw Odin Wrath infantry roll over the infantry provided by Electric Experience, and then it sort of became the slow chase down the remaining range unit, and the battle resolved. Yan'an's death and Sun Ce's death was very even, 2 Vanguard going down, both Smash ability going away, both Roar ability going away, and it was just a very slow fight between a Sentinel with no damage abilities, a supportive commander, and also a supportive strategist going at it, and it sort of just ended with the infantry carrying the day. So that rounds things out. The last 2 match here in Group A with Shogun Met is going to be very important. He needs both wins to force a 3-way tie, and that final matchup with Sleeping Phoenix really going to determine things, as Sleeping Phoenix has a chance to go undefeated in Group A as well. So we'll come back for those. Until then, bye!